Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jerry from Hawaii of the North, if you don't know, and this is
Belle from Hawaii of the North.
And we live here on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, one of the most beautiful places on earth. And we've just got back, actually, from our 2-week vacation this year. Quite possibly be our last 2-week vacation because we'll be going on the road full time, a little bit more. More, not full-time, but more long-term part-time. Long-term part-time.
Yeah.
So this year we started off our trip and we went up to Kamloops. We caught the 5:15 a.m. ferry out of Duke Point to Tsawwassen and got up to Kamloops. Actually, we got up there at a reasonable hour. I think it was like 2:30 in the afternoon or something like that. Got set up and got things going. And yeah, it was a good time up there. I did a little golfing, did a little visiting. We went to the wildlife park. What did you enjoy about Kamloops?
Oh, having a visit with my cousin that I haven't seen for quite a few years. And then going to the wildlife camp or adventure, whatever it was fantastic. Just all those animals and
yeah, it's like a recovery park. They take in lame animals and animals that have been orphaned and things like that. So you'll probably have seen some of that already in one of my previous videos. I'll put a link up here somewhere if I can figure that out. And then from there we drove, actually we spent what, three days in Kamloops. And then off to Lake Louise for the night. That was a beautiful trip. I really enjoyed driving through from Kamloops to Lake Louise. Just the scenery through the Rocky Mountains, the roads. There was a couple steep hills that we had to climb, but other than that, great roads. Really enjoyed the drive. And the campground, what did you think of the campground in Lake Louise?
I thought it was cool. It was sort of like your boondocking, something that we've not done very much of, but yeah, and it was cheap.
Yeah, it was like 12 bucks, I think, $12 Canadian for overnight, and it's just a big gravel parking lot. It's the overflow camping in Lake Louise if you're looking for it. It's not on RV Life, but I did find it on iOverlander. So if you're looking for that, it's on iOverlander. It's just a little ways out of Lake Louise. And make sure you park on the gravel area. There's a big paved parking lot, which I guess they use that for overflow parking, and there's shuttles that you can take, and they'll run you back and forth to Lake Louise. But they don't allow overnight camping on the paved part of the parking lot, only on the gravel. And there was a ton. When we got there, there was a few, but in the morning when we got up, there was campers and travel trailers and motorhomes everywhere. I even seen one guy setting up a tent.
Yeah, and it was quiet. Like, it wasn't noisy or anything. Had great sleep.
Yeah, the only thing, we didn't run our generator or anything. I'm not sure what time we got there. It wasn't that late. We could have probably ran the generator or pulled out the Blackstone or something, but we just had some sandwiches and went to bed. It was a great little spot to overnight. And I believe you can stay there longer too. You don't have to just stay one night. It's if you want to pay the money, you can stay there for a week if you want, I believe. And we ended up having to help out some people from Europe because they didn't have the right amount of money and they couldn't seem to figure out what they had to do. So I just ended up paying for them. Not a big deal. It was only 12 bucks. And then we were off after that to Drumheller.
Yes, Drumheller. And that was nice. That was a nice drive and enjoyed the day. So, stopped at a few places.
Drove through Cochrane. Hopefully they get that fixed because that was not fun driving through Cochrane. The only reason I drove through Cochrane was to go by our old place where we used to live, and the road through Cochrane was horrible. They're doing construction. They're probably making it better, but right now it was just, it was horrible. But yeah, we camped in Horseshoe Canyon, very nice RV park. It's fairly new. you'll see the review on that one as well. Horseshoe Canyon hike we did. I golfed at the Dinosaur Trails. We had friends come and meet us up there in Calgary, and our other friends that we actually took the high road, they took the low road. We went up through Kamloops, and they come down through the Crow's Nest Pass, and unfortunately they had a tire blowout on them, and so that costed them a little bit of time and a little bit of money, but they made it there actually just not long after we did.
No.
They made a pretty good time. I was expecting them to lose at least a day travel, but they met us right when they were supposed to meet us. And then our other friends came out from Calgary. It was a very enjoyable time visiting with them. And the Dinosaur Trail, I golfed. Where else did we do? Oh, the Tie Ground Museum.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's something you should probably do at least once in your life. We've done it twice now, and I don't think I need to ever do it again. It's a nice place to take the kids or the grandkids, which, I mean, I will take the grandkids there if they really want to go. So, but yeah, it was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed hiking through the canyon. That was that was beautiful.
Yeah, I loved the canyon too. It was awesome down there. Could have stayed a couple of more days even in that spot because there was just so much you could do, and yeah, I loved the hiking stuff. So.
And the sunsets, beautiful sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah.
The sunsets were just beautiful. And then off we left there. We were there, I think, 3 or 4 nights. We stayed an extra night. We were only going to stay 3 nights, but I believe we stayed 4 nights. When you're on vacation, it seems like the days all run together after a while.
And the places.
But then we were off to Canmore, and we decided to stop for fuel in Calgary. And everybody wanted to go to Costco because Costco has cheap fuel. And I don't care how cheap Costco's fuel is. Never taken my motorhome to a Costco ever again.
It was crazy.
Ever. It was horrible. We got there, we were lined up in the gas pumps, and I decided to pull out of the line, and I got stuck in the parking lot, pulling our toad behind me as well, which put me at just over 56 feet. People were so ignorant, they were cutting you off, people walking everywhere. It was a gong show. So don't take your motorhome to Costco to get cheap fuel. Not worth of it. I drove down the road, I paid a little more, but I'll pay more every time because I am never going through that experience ever again.
Yeah, it was really a nightmare. It was horrible.
And I didn't get I was stressed out. I'm more stressed out now thinking about it than I was at the time because I am kind of used to driving those big rigs and doing that kind of thing. But at the time, I was just calm, drove right through once I got out of there. And now I get a little more upset when I think about it. But that's all behind me now.
Yes, put it behind you.
So we went to Lac Des Arcs Provincial Park Campground just outside of Canmore. No services. No services at all. No water, no sewer, no power. There was a hand pump, but they said the hand pump would give you water, but you couldn't drink it. It wasn't potable water. So we made sure we had our tanks filled before we got there. Well, the freshwater tank filled. Black water and gray water tanks were empty. And then we went in and toured around Canmore, which was, I love Canmore.
Oh, yes.
I could live in Canmore quite easily.
Yeah, me too.
Just nice shops, cool little stores. Everywhere you looked is mountains. It's just phenomenal.
It's gorgeous.
But then when we went to leave, we had an issue with our slide out and it wouldn't come in. So we managed to get it in with a lot of work, and I had to push it in the pouring rain, I might add as well, but we did get it in, and now I'll have to look at that because I didn't bother extending it out for the rest of the trip because I didn't want to get stuck somewhere and have to manually bring it in. I think it's just the motor, but I'll have to dig deeper into that yet. And from there we went to Radium Hot Springs for a couple nights at the Red Street Federal Campground. And it was nice. We thought we had water and power, but we ended up we only had power. One loop over had power, water, and sewer, which would have been nicer, but
We managed.
we managed. Not a big deal. Good thing I was going to dump my freshwater tank before we left Lac Des Arcs, because I didn't want to haul all that water with me, but I decided, well, what the heck, I'll just leave it in there, and I'm glad I did, because we didn't have any water at Red Streak.
Yeah, a couple of nice walking trails that we went on. One, we thought we were going up to be able to overlook everything, but that didn't happen, so we came back down, and then we went and walked down to the hot springs, which was quite a ways down. But
It was a
fun.
good hike. It was a nice hike. Hot springs, not so. I mean, they were all right. They weren't worth the money, I didn't think.
They were not what I expected at all. Like, I expected them to be hotter and, yeah, not like a hot tub sort of thing.
Very big, very big hot tub.
Yes.
But it was just more like a warm pool. It was, and there was only the one pool. I know some other hot springs, they have different pools that are all at different temperatures, and you can go from one to the other, but this is just one huge pool, and it's all the same temperature. And I found it wasn't that warm.
No.
I didn't think it was that hot. But that was a little bit disappointing, but so be it. And then from there we hit Creston, which is where our motorhome's namesake lived.
Yeah. My mom and dad lived in Creston for quite a few years.
And the coolest thing about Creston, well, I really liked the RV park.
Oh, yes.
Scotty's RV park it's really nice. Some of the sites are close together, but our site, we were off kind of all by ourselves, so it was really nice. But the Columbia Brewery is right out their front door, which I already knew because my mother-in-law lived back right onto Scotty's RV park.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was take you back a few memories anyways, which was really nice.
And we got to go for a tour of the winery, and we got to Skimmerhorn Winery. We toured the Skimmerhorn Winery, went for a wine tasting, and then we did go and tour the Columbia Brewery, which I've done many times in the past. The first time I did it, it was free, and you got a free beer at the end, free beer tasting. One time we went and they started charging you $5 for the tour. You still got a beer at the end, tasting. And now this time it was $10 for the tour. So I guess inflation hits everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to Osoyoos. But we had to go over some passes first, about 3 or 4. One was quite a substantial pass. It's a long pull up and a long coast down. And my tires were getting a little hot by the time I got to the bottom. I had alarms going off. We decided we'd pull over and just let everything cool down for a little bit. And then continued on. The rest of the passes, wasn't thrilled about coming down some of them, but they were all right until we got to Osoyoos. I knew that one was going to be bad, but we made it to the bottom without any alarms until we hit the bottom, and then the tires overheated again. We never smelled brakes, so I wasn't cooking the brakes, but they were getting mighty hot. So I know our partners, they could smell their brakes coming down, so I think they were getting a little bit hotter than we were. But they do have a little bit of a older motorhome, and it's a little bit lighter duty. It doesn't have the big wheels and big brakes like we have. But Osoyoos, again, phenomenal. Loved Osoyoos. I can't pronounce the name of the campground. I'll throw it up here somewhere. But yeah, it's the natives own it. I believe you can say natives or indigenous people. They own the whole area. The campground is just awesome. It's got beach access if you like that kind of thing. We did walk around the beach part, and I don't think, personally, I wouldn't want to stay there just because it looks like it would be a party central. I was quite happy. Of course, we're not big people like that group camp anyway. We like to kind of be off on our own anyways. So they have a winery, they have a golf course, which I love the golf course there. I golfed there again as well. It was really nice.
Did a walk around town.
Yep, we did. Walked into town.
Fantastic market, farmer's market. It was absolutely great. It was the biggest one I think I've ever been to, and they had so many nice things, wine and yeah, I could have spent a lot of money there if I wanted.
Yeah, they had a lot of. It wasn't that big. It was pretty good market though. They did have wine tasting. They had a gin tasting place. They had a whiskey tasting place, which we tasted, or I tasted, all of that. So it was a good thing we walked into town, because the whiskey guy, he liked to pour.
And they made chocolates too. There was a chocolate lady that was doing all, and fancy chocolates. I thought at first they were little ornaments. That's what they looked like. But they were chocolates, and so I brought back a little package for my friend. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
And yeah, then we went. We had a little appetizers up at the restaurant at the resort. We went for a wine tasting at the resort, and somebody got a new pair of moccasins at the resort.
Oh yes, I do, but I don't
have them with her now. So maybe I'll throw that in on another video or something. And then we made our way home, and we ended up Wally World for overnight, and then caught the 5:15 coming home, because it saved me over $200 on BC ferries. So overall, I mean, it was, yeah, we had some trials and troubles and a few breakdowns and a few issues here and there, but overall it was a really good trip. We enjoyed visiting with all of our old friends and families, and just had a good time. Motorhome stuff is going to happen. You're going to have breakdowns. You're going to have problems. Nothing you can do with that. And the weather was pretty good actually for the most part through the whole trip.
Yeah.
Just
a
little bit of rain in Canmore, and a little bit of rain on Osoyoos, but the rain on Osoyoos was overnight.
Yeah.
And then when we got up in the mornings, it was beautiful, hot and sunny. So overall, really good trip. If you watch my videos, I'll be posting the little travel that we did on the map, and then at the very end, I'll put up the whole complete round trip, so you can kind of see exactly where we went. And I guess that is anything else you have to add?
I don't think so. Other than that, yeah, it was a really nice time. I enjoyed it, and yeah, each time we go and do it, we just figure out different things, and everything works out in the end.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend coming up. If you're down in the States, come on up to Canada, do some RVing in the summertime, go to Lake Louise, go to Banff, go to Jasper. Hopefully they'll be back up and running again next year after that devastating fire, which was just horrible. But the Rocky Mountains are awesome. But so is Hawaii to the north. But until next time, everybody, let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there. Blackfish out.